it's very difficult for me to go to the landlord and be like, yeah, we got to do a lease with them. They're definitely going to follow all your rules and everything. Like, you guys keep disappearing.
I'm not sure what the giggles are, but I'm not disappearing. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, this is you acting as though we are already some type of a nuisance tenant, and I don't think it's good. We sent an LOI, and they asked for all kinds of things and stuff, and we still don't have a yay or nay. And Craig?
Yes, no yay or nay. He needs a credit app.
Credit application, right, from you. And like I told you, 99.84% of the time, this is not going to work. If you don't have exquisite credit and $400,000 in the bank, understand, oh, well, no big deal. We move on.
Forget it. I can't forget it.
I'm not a counselor. I'm not here to counsel you on feelings or anything like that. But you haven't lost anything on this store other than sleepless nights, maybe, I don't know. Other than thinking that this is your place and going in and picking out curtains. I don't know, maybe. But I'm not the guy to tell you that this is all rainbows and puppy dogs. When these idiots ask you for a credit app, we either say nothing or we wait until they say, well, it's not really that important. But I don't really have a leg to stand on here. I can call the guy up and, like I said, tell him, well, I see that as a bit of a slap in the face. We don't even have a lease agreed upon, correct? We don't.
Correct.
And you're telling me new LOI version 6 to be submitted. Well, we don't do that. I'm trying to make you understand. We don't just send another letter of intent when this one hasn't been accepted yet. That's why we wait for them to reach out and say, well, hey, what's going on? What's happening here? Hey, why is it stalling? Well, that's when we reach back out. I'm not a mind reader, okay, but I'm intuitive enough to know that you want this store badly. Well, that's no way to do business ever. They want your credit application. If you don't have good credit, then they're not going to do the deal either way. But they shouldn't be asking for it. You understand? It's wrong. So what we do is we wait for them to reach out again and send an email and say, hey, what happened? Why is the deal stalled? And then we say, oh, well, because you asked for a credit app. That's a bit of a slap in the face. Let's get the lease done.
Well, at this point, he knows that we haven't been answering him.
Yes,
we took 3 weeks to reply to his email.
Okay. So when was the last email he sent? What did he say? I want the credit app?
Yes.
Okay. So when he sends the email,
almost 3 weeks ago.
I know it's been 3 weeks, but we don't have a leg to stand on until he sends the email that says, hey, gee whiz, fellas, what happened on this? He might never send it. And I've said this to you a dozen times. I don't know why it's still on the list. When he sends the email, send up a red flag, shoot a flare, say, Danny, he sent an email wondering if we're stalling on this deal or what we are doing. That's when we reach back out and say, yeah, dude, there's no deal to be had. I want a credit app. So this is going to be slamming the door in the guy's face. This is a huge store, and we have a decent lease rate at 80 cents a square foot, but they want your credit app. That's all. And I don't know what your credit looks like. You're telling me that it's not worth doing. Okay.
My credit app is fine, but they need to give us the lease in order to get what they're asking for.
There you
obviously.
Go. This is just like you going to buy a car and they have a look at your shoes and they say, I don't think you should be shopping here, to be ridiculous. Or they say, well, fill out a credit app and we'll tell you which lot you can go to and which cars you can afford. It's not the way it's done.
Hello?
Craig.
Hey, no, I got you. How you doing?
The Laundromat.
Sorry,
we would like to get a clarification and see a drafted lease on this thing.
Yeah, I've emailed a bunch of times. I need financials from you guys.
Okay.
They can't move past an LOI.
I understand.
I mean,
that's fine. In my experience, it's a bit of a slap in the face to say, well, we're not going to even discuss the actual terms of the lease until we see financials. All right. again, in my experience, I go to buy a car, and just because I showed up on a bicycle, they're going to push me to a different lot.
They're going to run your credit. What are you talking about?
They're going to run my credit before
Unless
they
you're
give me
coming in straight cash. They're running your credit.
They're going to run my credit before they give me the price of the car.
No, you know what the price is.
No,
it's in the letter of intent.
I've never paid sticker on a vehicle. We're still talking about, at least I'm still talking about cars.
I understand what you're saying. I'll see if they're willing to move on without it, but I know that they've asked me multiple times to get financials.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
and,
good.
I mean,
I hope you understand my analogous that.
I hear what you're saying.
Forget about
but at
the
same time,
bicycle.
You guys disappear every time I come back. I mean, I tried to get you guys on a letter of intent. Like I can't sell this. I'm sure you have 15 locations or whatever it is, 50 locations. But I mean, it's very difficult for me to go to the landlord and be like, yeah, we got to do a lease with them. They're definitely going to follow all your rules and everything. Like, you guys keep disappearing, and I mean, I'm not blaming you for anything.
I haven't. This is my cell phone. Did you save my number?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I've
and I'm not sure what the giggles are, but I'm not disappearing. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. And I'd love to make it.
And as far as, I mean, this is you acting as though we are already some type of a nuisance tenant, and I don't think it's good. At the end of the day, 15 or 50 laundromats, okay, neither of those are the number. But my partner is your guarantor, and I've said this thrice now. I see it as an insult. Show us financials, and then we'll say whether or not, if you're willing to move forward on all of the LOI terms, then great, wonderful. We're not hearing
what I've said multiple times.
Okay.
We can move on from the LOIs. I've sent emails to you and your partner, which I've gotten zero response to. I've said in those emails, if you take a look at them, that we can move on from the letter of intent if we get financials. I have heard nothing from you.
If you get financials.
You're now telling me you're not willing to give me financials because it's a slap in the face.
Well,
I understand that's a slap in the face to you. This is the process that we go through in any lease, unless it's maybe Microsoft or something along those lines. We get financials from people.
Perfect.
Makes
sense.
So if you would like for me to go back to the landlord and ask if he's willing to proceed without seeing any financials, but to spend money on a lease and send it over to you to hope that you guys sign it.
I see. It costs money.
Yes, to have an attorney review a lease, 100% it costs money.
And it's boilerplate, and I know that. And I don't appreciate your tone. I'll let you know. Thanks.
Well, let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Do you want this guy as your landlord? You hear the way he's talking?
I see where he's coming from as far as us not responding. That's what I meant.
90% of the time, these landlords don't ask for financials at all. Did you hear what he said? You see, you're new to this, and you keep pushing and pressing that you want me to do that. And that whole conversation is disgusting. He doesn't have any right to talk to you or me that way. None whatsoever. He was laughing. He was giggling. This is not a deal that you want to do, period. But I understand much of this, all of this is new to you and you don't get it. When I deal with somebody that doesn't have any experience in this, you have to fall back on what I'm telling you is not a good deal, not in any way, shape, or form. When they email me 3 or 10 times, I want financials. We ignore them. I told you that. Until they say, hey, what's going on? Is this stall deal? Please.
I see why he's frustrated and not taking us serious because we take forever to reply to his question.
Yes, exactly. So from now on, every time he emails me, we will call him the same day and say, please, sir, may I have another? That's not how this works. Here's what you don't get. This fucking piece of shit is like every landlord you've ever had. When you go to an apartment and they say first and last month's rent and a deposit. And what do? You give them first and last and a deposit. Did you know that that's all negotiable? No, because most people don't. It is. Someone talking to me like that, I would never ever talk to them again. But I work for you.
I'm pretty sure this hot water heater's got a few more good years left in it.